As Christians, we've become used to this idea that people are going to criticize us for our faith, right? They're going to say we're the people of faith, whereas maybe the atheist is the people of science or reason and rationale. And the reason they criticize us for that is they think that we have no reason for believing what we believe. Well, first I want to just talk about faith in general. Faith is nothing to be ashamed of. Everyone has faith. Right? Little can be known in this world. Almost everything is taken by faith. Even the atheist, for example, has faith, right? They put faith in the possibility that there is no God, whereas there could be a God. So they're, by faith, holding to the possibility that there is no God. So even the atheist has some level of faith, just like the theist does. But why do they criticize us so much, claiming that we're the people of faith? It's because they want to put us down and say, you have no reason, no logical reason, no scientific reason for believing in the existence of God. And let me tell you something, if anyone claims that to you, if anyone says that to you, they are ignorant of the subject, because there is so much evidence. No one with any real level of intelligence or any real level of education on the matter, even an atheist, would never claim that Christians or that theists in general have no reason for believing in the existence of a God, right? Because there is lots of evidence for it. There's lots of reasons why we should believe. So some atheists don't know that, right? So they may claim you have no reasons, but that's simply because they're ignorant of the subject. Any atheist who has an inkling of knowledge about the subject knows that there's lots of evidence. Even though they may deny the evidence, they may claim the evidence is false, that they don't believe the evidence, but they would still acknowledge that there is evidence, whether or not they believe it's true or not. So anyone who claims that there's no reasons, they're simply ignorant of the subject, and they need to be educated on the subject. Which leads me to the next point. Sometimes when we're criticized, or maybe people are arguing to us about our faith, maybe they'll say something or they'll ask a question that we don't know the answer to. And that might plant a seed of doubt in our heart, right? It might start to grow, or maybe we'll say, you know what, I don't know the answer, but by faith, I'm just going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on believing what I believe. I don't need to know the reasons why. I'm just going to believe it's true. So we kind of take that doubt and we kind of throw it away. We push it to the side and say, I'm just going to, by faith, hold on to what I believe, regardless if I know why it's this way or something like that. And there's some virtue in that, right? There's some virtue in just holding on by faith, not knowing if it's true or not knowing the reasons behind it. But at the same time, you may have that level of faith or that type of faith, but someone else might not. And they might be asked the same question. And when they're asked the same question, they may come to you for guidance and ask you that question. What answer are you going to give them? You're going to say, I don't know, but I'm just going to keep on believing, so you should too. Well, that might lead them to further doubt, and maybe even a complete takeover of doubt in their life, and their faith becomes to them as something that was false. So with that in mind, we need to be ready, as the Bible says, be ready always to give them an answer to everyone who asketh us about the faith that we have. So instead of just taking that seed of doubt and saying, I'm just going to push it to the side and keep on believing because I don't need to know why, I just going to have faith that it's true. Instead of doing that, we should continue to have faith, but at the same time, we need to figure out why. We need to be studying it for ourselves, because the truth is, I like to look at it as like there's different parts in a vehicle, or maybe in some kind of technology, right? Well, let's say there's different gears. We might look at one gear and let's say it's spinning this way, and then we look over here and there's another gear and it's spinning the opposite direction, right? So they're spinning opposite directions, and we say these are contradictions. They're going different directions. How do these things mesh together? How do they work together? It doesn't seem like they do, and it can plant a seed of doubt in our hearts, but sometimes we just need to know that there are gears in between them, in which the gears in between them are allowing them to spin in different directions. So when we understand the different parts that make up the whole, we can better understand how things work together. So it's not that apparent contradictions within what you might believe have no answers, but rather you may not know that answer, and I would encourage you, try and study those answers. If you don't know why you believe that God exists, if you're just saying, I don't know why, but I just believe it, that's great. But what if someone asks you that question and says, I'm considering believing in God, or whatever the question might lead to, but they might say, Do you have any reason for believing in God? And if you come to them and say, no, I just believe, that may turn them away from Christianity and turn them into doubting the existence of a God. So I would encourage you to study it for yourselves. I would encourage you to study your faith to the deepest extent that you can. Grow closer to God through the knowledge of Him, just as you would grow closer to a spouse through learning more about them, learning their likes, their dislikes, what they are, who they are, what they do, things like that. So that's my encouragement to you. When people claim that you're a person of faith, first, don't be ashamed by that. Second, give them reasons for why you believe what you believe. And third, when they ask questions that you don't know, study it so that you will learn it, and that when other people ask you that question, you can give them the answer so that the seed of doubt does not grow in their life as well.